Here we have a set of questions for you. This is the quiz on quadratic functions. We'll actually have 10 questions here, and this is question number 1. Now, complete the following statements. So you have to fill in your answers here. The question is, the degree of function f of x equals to this is what? So you have to go through the question and write down your answer here, and that's the whole objective, okay? So I'd like you to make a note of these questions and answer them in your sheet. The second one is, axis of symmetry of g of x, which is equals to 5 minus x plus 2 whole square is, you can write it here. Vertex of h of x equals to minus 5 x minus 4 square plus 3 is at. D. Minimum value for f of x equals to 5 plus x plus 3 square is what? The parabola 5 plus 2x minus 3x square opens in which direction, right? List zeros of f of x equals to x times x plus 2. Well, these are knowledge questions and they are basically testing your basic understanding of quadratic function, okay? So make a note of these questions and write down their answers. You can stop the video here. Meanwhile, I'll give you the answers in the way we should think about their answers, okay? Now here is the solution for question number 1. Part A. Degree of a function. For a given function, the degree is the highest exponent. So you have to look into that polynomial. This is a kind of a polynomial. And what is the degree of 1? Degree of 1 actually you can think as x to the power of 0. So it is for any constant, degree is 0. For degree of x, we don't write 1, but it means 1. X to the power of 1 is x, right? And the exponent here is x squared. So these are different terms of our polynomial or function f of x. So the highest degree amongst all the terms is of this one, which is square, right? So we have degree of this function is 2. So degree of a function is the highest exponent which we have, right? And sometimes we also ask about leading coefficient. Leading coefficient is the coefficient of the term which has the highest coefficient, highest exponent, right? So in this case, the leading coefficient will be minus 3. Well, that is not asked in the question, but it's a good time to tell you about it. So the degree is 2. So it's a quadratic equation with degree 2. Now, second question is, axis of symmetry of g of x, where g of x equals to 5 minus x plus 2 whole square. So actually this is given in vertex form, and you can see that this function has a vertex at x equals to minus 2 and the y value is 5. So the vertex is at point minus 2 and 5, correct? Well, we are asking for axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is the x value which will make this 0, right? X plus 2. And the answer is x equals to minus 2, right? So here, don't write down the vertex or don't write down 5. 5 is the value of function here, the minimum value, right? Because this function opens upwards, right? Sorry, this function, this is minus. This function opens downwards. So 5 is the maximum value, right? Don't write 5 as your answer. Don't write the coordinate minus 2, 5 as your answer. It is very simple. Axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is x equals to minus 2, right? Because this function could be drawn like this kind of. Do you see that? And the vertex, that point vertex is minus 2, 5. And the line which goes through it, the vertical line which goes through it is called the axis of symmetry. And the equation of this vertical line is x minus 2. And that is expected in the answer. Okay? Now the next question is, vertex of your function minus 5 x minus 4 square plus 3. Well, here as you can see, the vertex is at whatever makes x 0, right? This thing. So the vertex is at 4, and the y value, if I make this 0, will become 3. So the vertex is 3 and 4, correct? So we'll write our answer as the coordinate 4 and 3. First you have to write always the x value and then the y value, correct? So the x value vertex is at x equals to 4 and its value is 3, correct? Minimum value for the function given to us. Well, this function, as you can see, has a positive leading coefficient, so it opens upwards, right? It opens upwards, and this point is the vertex, and this point for you is minus 3, 5, right? When we say minimum value, then we are interested in this value, right? Not at, correct? So the minimum value is 5. Do you see that? Minimum value is 5. Again, don't write down the coordinates of the vertex, or don't write down the x value here, which is actually the axis of symmetry, okay? Write down the minimum value, which is 5, because these are the mistakes which sometimes we see in the test paper. The parabola 5 plus 2x minus 3x squared opens in which direction? So what students do is they always look into the first term, and they find the first term as 5 and they think it's positive, and they think the parabola is opening upwards, which is wrong. The leading coefficient here is minus 3. Do you understand? That minus makes it opening downward. So the parabola really opens downward. This minus, correct? You have to look for here. So the terms are not organized in the way you normally see them. So that could lead to an error, correct? So the parabola here opens downwards. Is that okay? And the reason is that the leading coefficient is negative, correct? Now, list zeros for this function. So list zeros for this function means you have to equate f of x equals to 0. And if you do so, then what do you get? You get x times x plus 2 equals to 0. Now when can these two factors be 0? When either x is 0 or x equals to minus 2. So those are the two values of x which can make this 0. So zeros are at x equals to 0 or at minus 2. So we have two zeros, okay, here. So that is how we need to answer these questions. So do a kind of rough thinking and then answer your questions. Don't be in a rush, okay? At times I've seen students are in a rush and they miss out the real answer. Okay, review your questions. In case you have any difficulty or doubts, let me know. Put your comments so that I can answer them. Thank you.